What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we've heard that you guys have been experiencing a crazy heat wave recently, and it looks like not only may it continue, but it might just be getting worse based off the fact that you guys are being issued something called a red weather warning. And I know we've seen in the past where you guys have been issued like an amber alert. Wasn't that what it's called, where it was like a bad storm or something?
I think so.
Like, I remember that with the snowstorms and stuff. And so I'm thinking red weather warning sounds really, really bad.
Probably the worst it could get. I don't know.
I think so.
I would think.
Yeah. And I've seen a number of headlines that were talking about how bad your heat wave is. I think it's been going on for the last week or so, but it looks like it is continuing. And temperatures up to 40 degrees Celsius. Now, off the top of my head, I'm not sure how hot that is.
I think that's 100 plus, because 30 Celsius is around like 90, 93 degrees, something like that.
Okay.
Right?
So we wanted to check out what was going on over there, guys. Because not only have I had people mention this in the comment section, but I'm seeing a number of headlines at this point, and it seems pretty bad. So first, I want to see how hot 40 degrees Celsius is.
Also, side note, while you're looking that up, that looks like a really awesome natural
Doesn't it?
hole.
That looks
Remember
like
the
amazing.
swimming hole video we checked out?
Yeah.
Like the natural one?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Okay. You guys are definitely getting hot, and I know this is super hot for you guys.
What is it?
104 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, like, I'm picturing, you know, the UK, and that definitely seems very hot for there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, we know that the majority of, I think the entirety of the UK doesn't have air conditioning. And so to be in 100 plus degree Fahrenheit weather without air conditioning, without the reprieve from that heat, sleeping in that weather, that has to be intense.
And not to mention, a lot of the more historical homes are built to retain heat.
Relief from the sweltering sun.
That looks so
Just a few
fun.
hours into this heat wave.
Look at that, it's
For
beautiful.
many, it's a chance to enjoy the weather, but with a red alert on the horizon, there are warnings these temperatures will impact health and social care services.
Would you like to go outside for a little stroll
Oh,
before it
no.
gets too hot?
Yes, I would. That would be
Yeah.
nice.
This home supports residents with dementia and gives palliative care to some of the most vulnerable at risk this week.
Residents on the palliative care require extra attention from our staff, making sure that they are comfortable, making sure they are repositioned regularly so that pressure areas are well cared for.
How do you feel that Wednesday has now been upgraded to a red alert?
It is a concern, and we made sure that we planned ahead, making sure that everyone is
Had a lot of
informed
fluids.
about our
Hydration station.
expectancies, how we're going to keep this place as cool as possible through the heat wave.
Some schools closed today, while
my
others tried to
goodness.
keep children cool in their classrooms as the heat wave hit.
Our building.
Oh my
that's
goodness.
genius. That's pretty cool.
That is, but the fact is, I just realized the schools on average probably don't have air
I
conditioning.
know. We learned that in
Yeah, I know. I remember that. And I was wondering about the nursing homes as well. I don't know if you guys call them nursing homes, maybe elderly homes. I don't really know exactly what you call them, but that is genius. That's a good idea if you don't have air conditioning. But like, oh my goodness, I can't imagine being in these buildings without air conditioning when it's
I know.
100 degrees plus.
Another thing to add to the school issue, not having air conditioning when it's this hot, is a lot of the school uniforms, I think, are polyester materials.
Yeah.
And just not natural materials that are breathable.
Yeah.
So that just makes it worse.
Yeah, I can only imagine, man.
Things aren't really very well designed to deal with these kind of temperatures. So over the last few years in June and July, we do get up to, you know, over 30 degrees in some of our classrooms.
This is the
Over 30 degrees in some of the classrooms.
Yeah.
I want to see how hot 30 degrees is. 86. That is pretty hot in the classroom for sure. Yeah, I can imagine that's pretty uncomfortable. You know, we get very hot summers here. Like very hot, very humid. We get the corn sweats because we have a lot of cornfields around here.
Yeah.
Corn releases a lot of moisture into the air, which makes the air very heavy and humid. But everywhere is air conditioned. So we have that break. We have that ability to get a reprieve from that heat and not actually be out in it.
And during the hottest months, school is out here.
Yeah,
so-
exactly. We get out in like late May, and we don't go back until
Mid-August,
summer starting
early
to end.
mid-August.
Yeah. And so I don't know, like, when. I know there's like a shorter summer break in the UK. I can't remember when you guys get out, though, out of school.
Yeah.
She said
Sometime
June
in
and
June.
She said June and July they were
Really?
there.
What?
She said June and July.
There are year-round schools too, though.
True. So that might be what she's talking about.
Second red heat health warning issued for the UK. The first was 4 years ago. Today, the Met Office has forecast more extreme and dangerous weather conditions
Did they just say
across
the
country
first
as our
red
climate
warning was only 4
continues
years
to
ago?
change. During the last heat
Hold
weather
on.
condition years ago. The second red heat health warning issued for the UK. The first was 4 years ago. Today, the Met Office...
What?
Is that for real? This is only the second time?
in your history? Or since this system was implemented. I don't know when that was, but...
Okay, that's
a big deal.
insane.
That's a much bigger deal than I thought it was.
Yeah, this is a huge deal. If this is only second time, wow.
has forecast more extreme and dangerous weather conditions across the country as our climate continues to change. During the last heat wave in May, 15 people died after getting into trouble in the water.
Oh my
Well, it couldn't look more
goodness.
appealing than on a day like today, but the UK Health Security Agency warns this weather could lead to an increased likelihood of cold water shock, with temperatures expected to rapidly rise over the next few days.
What precautions are you taking on a day like today with this type of heat?
Stay hydrated and just make sure you got sun cream on.
Wow.
In a place like the UK, we kind of go crazy when it's hot and don't really think twice. But yeah, I think people should be safe.
So we all came at like 10:30 so that we could get in before it got really hot, and the whole shocking your body thing is quite scary.
As hot air moves in from Europe, tomorrow is forecast to be the warmest day of the year so far in what's expected to be a record-breaking week for the UK. Sangeeta Lal, ITV News.
So this is legit record-breaking. I mean, I was kind of getting that impression based off of...
This is only the second time.
I was kind of thinking that might be the case, but it is legit a record-breaking heat wave in the UK. Wow.
Becky joins me now with more on this. Becky, how unusual is this?
Gamal, I don't think that it would be extraordinary for me to say that this is an exceptional heat event. It would be unusual enough to have 4 consecutive days with such a wide-ranging amber warning, but then to have 2 red warnings in there as well.
2?
In 26 years of doing this job, I don't remember another situation like this. This is really very extreme, and it's incredibly unusual. But what does this actually mean? This is not in any way to say that if you're not in either of these warning areas, it's not going to be hot, but definitely this is really worth paying attention. Let's have a look at what this actually breaks down to. Well, over the next few days, we can expect more in the way of the disruption. We've got disruption to heat-related illness, of course, so that's not just sunburn, of course that's in there as well, but you've got heat stroke, and this is not just for the very vulnerable, the very old and the very young. This is everybody, particularly if you work outside. You've got pressure on the NHS, particularly on the emergency services. That's worth bearing in mind. We've already had school closures as well. Schools are desperately trying to adapt.
That's a big deal,
travel
man.
And energy supply disruption as well. So this is a very, very significant heat event. It should be out of it by the time we get to the end of the week, but this is definitely a very, very serious situation that needs taking seriously, certainly.
Okay, so I can imagine you guys are ready to get to the end of the week, but I'm sitting here thinking, we've closed because of snow and winter, but I don't think
Sometimes flooding.
Yeah, but I don't think I've ever known us to close school because it was hot. We have air conditioning.
But it makes total sense.
It does, absolutely.
You can't learn in that environment. That's not safe.
No, those kids are in those brick buildings, I'm guessing, and just like the buildings that are meant to retain heat and just stuck in there all day. And man, when it's
just miserable.
Yeah, that's got to be crazy.
Teachers too, like having to teach in that.
In a hot city, this seems like the only place to stay cool.
What's it like in the water?
It's nice and cold.
Nice and cold.
Yeah.
It's nice.
But then you got to worry about sunburn.
That's true.
And have fun.
On a hot day like this, I can cool down. I'm going to go and cool down in a minute. Yeah, it's lovely.
Liverpool at home doesn't do this any justice.
The water looks fun, but it's important to be safe in the water, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So water safety is really important, especially our location. We've got the pool, we're also very close to the river. So our lifeguards are all fully trained, but we do also need everyone to stay safe, make sure they're staying within their depth if they're not that strong, and looking out for each other as well if you're coming in groups.
I mean, it is a school day, but there seem to be a lot of kids here.
Interesting.
And while the sun is fun for some Londoners, for others it's something to endure.
I sleep quite a lot anyway.
Eileen Hewitt is 89, and in this heat, her fan is her friend.
Oh, man.
I cope with it quite well because in my room I've got a fan, and that keeps me cool all the time. I don't go out in the heat.
Is that the trouble with this country? It's always too cold and then it's suddenly too hot.
We're never satisfied. It's either too rainy, too wet, too hot, too cold.
It can be kind of difficult making sure that the residents stay safe. We encourage them to drink lots of fluids. We encourage things like ice lollies, cold drinks, and for them to stay in cooler rooms and shaded areas if they are sitting outside.
I think the biggest challenge is more that the older we get, we less perceive like the thirst and the hunger. So it's more about keep going little and often to offer the fluids rather than, because a lot of them don't feel thirsty or feel the heat the same way we do.
It's probably cooler inside than out, so think about closing the windows, and if the sun's coming in, closing the curtains against the sun. Not something we normally do.
And what's currently an amber warning will become a red alert on Wednesday, the highest warning the Met Office can issue.
Wow.
That means a danger not only to life, but power and transport.
Because
as temperatures rise.
I'm curious about that real quick, guys. Like I would understand the power issue because everybody's running air conditioning at full scale, like when it gets very hot. But if not as many places have air conditioning in the UK, what would increase the amount of electricity? It would just be fans? Is that what it would be?
Probably just an influx of more
fans and stuff?
More fans,
I mean,
more cooling devices.
Obviously, some places would have air conditioning. Obviously, some people in their homes have air conditioning. But from what I understand, it's still kind of a minority position to have air conditioning in the UK.
So will the pressure on
Look at the yellow
emergency
ambulance.
services, with a warning tonight of World Cup celebrations in a heat wave.
Of course, we want England to do well tomorrow night in the football, but alcohol might quench your thirst, but isn't going to rehydrate.
Dehydrates you.
Some parents here appear to have decided it's simply too hot for the classroom. But as temperatures climb, keeping cool remains the most important lesson of all. Rags Martel, ITV News.
Year 5 English at Drake Primary in Thetford, and the drawers that normally contain their workbooks have a new use. Like most schools, there's no air conditioning, so when the forecast hints at high 30s, they get creative to stay cool. All shade has to be utilised, and the timetable has to change.
Our buildings aren't really very well designed to deal with these kind of temperatures. So over the last few years in June and July, we do get up to, over 30 degrees in some of our classrooms, which is very challenging.
Yeah, that would be
Drake is one of many schools due to take students to the Royal Norfolk Show this week, but temperatures are set to peak for it on Wednesday and Thursday. Organisers say the safety of visitors and animals is paramount, and some event timings may change.
Is that like a fair of some sort?
Yeah, it looks like some kind of...
I noticed there's an assortment of flags up there of different countries. I wonder what this is. It's just like, I wonder if this is kind of like our 4-H type of thing.
I don't know. It seems bigger than that.
I wonder is this like an agricultural fair, an agricultural event?
We are constantly assessing the forecast. We're taking
kind of looks like it.
Advice from a range
Royal
of
Agricultural
experts.
Association.
We expect to deliver a complete Royal Norfolk Show programme, but it may be that some events are rescheduled to take part in cooler parts of the day.
The approaching heat is extreme, likely to surpass these scenes to smash the June record of 1976.
No, what was that? Did you see that? Those things crawling. Yeah, I know. What was that?
Likely to.
What are those, guys? Wait. Are those hermit crabs?
Past these scenes to smash the June record of 1976.
So,
a rare danger to life red weather warning in places like Northamptonshire, Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire. Onion farmer Tim has long watched climate extremes and worried about his business. So last year he turned a poorly performing field into a vineyard. He says the soil here in Hochwald is similar to that in the Champagne region, and he's just launched his first wine.
Yeah, that's pretty.
We had one of the worst years on onions last year that we could ever have had, and actually our first harvest of grapes was a really good one, way above expectation. So it's demonstrating that my small business has to have that variation to be able to manage different climatic.
Looks like a large business, honestly.
Managing climate extremes in a society not always set up for it is challenging, and as these forecasts become more common, as the records tumble, it's a challenge we're going to become more and more familiar with. Rob Setchell, ITV News.
Preparations for the heatwave here at the Towans care home in Burnham-on-Sea began as soon as the extreme temperatures were forecast, ordering in extra fridges and fans. And now the amber heat allowance is coming into place, making sure staff and residents stay safe.
We've been trying to promote bananas and oranges for the fact that they're very good at absorbing and keeping sodium levels up, so that people aren't getting dehydrated a lot. We've ended up, lucky enough, having 2 air cons, so the air cons are fully on at the moment. English hot weather is very different than abroad hot weather, so we're not just dealing with it being hot, it's the humidity that goes with it, and I think the humidity is what makes people drowsy, more risk of falls as well.
Humidity is horrible.
While elderly residents are particularly susceptible to the heat, they're doing their best to stay as cool as possible.
I am fortunate in that my bedroom is at the front of the house and I'm surrounded by trees, so I'm never in the direct sunlight.
That's good.
And it's a lot cooler in my room, but even so, it still gets very hot.
And some find the heat easier to deal with than others. Joan is lucky enough to have one of the cooler rooms and will be staying put to cope with the rising temperatures.
I don't like the heat because it affects my arthritis. We're going through this global warming and let's hope soon it turns cold again.
With temperatures around 30 degrees in Burnham-on-Sea this afternoon, some people sought to cool down at the water's edge.
Well, along the shoreline there's a bit of a breeze here, which is making it feel a touch cooler, but walk a few metres that way into town and it quickly becomes really stifling. And a lot of people we've been talking to say that although they're managing to stay cool in this heat at the moment, they're a bit worried about what the rest of the week has in store.
I don't cope very well with the heat. We're not geared up for it, are we? Like everything. It's like when we have the heavy snow, we're not geared up for that. We're not geared up for hot sun. We haven't got air conditioning.
It feels like we're on holiday. So luckily we don't have to go to work, so we don't have to worry about the travelling and being in the car and being in the streets and things. So we just take it easy in the garden, put the hose on us occasionally.
Her ice cream's gone. What are you?
It's just gone. This is melted.
I struggle with my mobility as well, so it's a bit difficult.
It's very nice because, I mean...
but the ice cream shop's doing well.
It's nice to enjoy it when it's here.
Enjoy it while it's here and make the most of it.
Enjoyable, perhaps, but health officials say it's vital people understand the risks
barefoot
posed
on
by
that would be
the
hot.
heat, something South Western Ambulance Service is all too aware of.
So we see an increase in 999 activity, and for example on Sunday yesterday we dealt with 9.5% more incidents than we normally would at this time of the year.
That's a big
That clearly
increase.
puts a huge amount of pressure on both our control rooms, our emergency ambulance crews, but also the wider system in terms of 999 activity.
That extra pressure prompting calls for caution, particularly as the heatwave intensifies in the coming days.
Yes, well, here on the south coast, of course, we do get some relief from the very hot weather because of the sea breeze. But even here in Christchurch today, the temperature
Not
did
New
top
Zealand,
30
right?
degrees. And the best way to stay cool is to find some shade, of which there is plenty here. Thanks
It looks like a pretty place. Look at that. It's beautiful.
In the midday
Beautiful view
sun.
too. All the
Also
boats.
wore a hat, but do spare a thought for the many parents and grandparents who are doing their best to keep babies and toddlers cool.
Yes, it's hot, but we are going to appreciate it.
Most of it.
And thank
Are you
you.
keeping him cool?
Yes. It's a pity that the splash park isn't open, though. A bit
Oh,
disappointing
man.
with that.
Yeah, that should be
But
open.
Apart from that, we love it, don't we? Yes.
This breeze makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it makes a massive difference. It's quite good off the water as well.
More hot days to come. You concerned about the little ones?
Not too much, but yeah, I mean, it's not going to be easy, particularly at night, so we need to invest in some fans.
We're enjoying it. He's had a decent nap. I think the weather's helping with that. He loves his food. So yeah, we're managing okay. We enjoy the sun, plenty of sun cream.
And lots of shade.
Yep.
Night is the worst.
Oh, I think so too.
It was also very hot over the weekend, and especially at the Isle of Wight Festival. The clean-up has now got underway in even hotter conditions, and we spoke to some of the festival
like a little
goers as
fair?
they made their way home from Ryde and asked them how they managed in the heat.
Unbearable. It was so hot, but we had a great time. We had lots of like little umbrellas that she used. Lots of water.
Very, very warm. Yeah, it's very warm, but it's okay. It's manageable. We're sat in the shade. We've got some drinks, so it's okay.
Staying in the shade, to be fair, and then the air cold will be blasting when I get back in the car.
Well, like people on the Isle of Wight, we do get that cooling breeze. The higher temperatures tend to be a few miles inland, and that's where potentially records could be broken over the next
Yeah, I'd much rather be right on the coast during a heat wave.
Heat this week is going to be exceptional. We will be breaking the current long-standing June record of 35.6. We may break our all-time summer record of 40.3. With that in mind, the Met Office have an amber extreme heat warning currently in force, and that will be rising to a red extreme heat warning through Wednesday and Thursday.
Well, in this extreme heat wave, it is tempting to cool down with a dip in the river, but that is being discouraged because even at this time of year, there is still the risk of cold water shock. It is best to stay in the shade and have plenty to drink, but it is going to be glorious, hot, sunny weather over the next few days, so if you can, make the most of it, but be safe.
Sounds good. Make the most of it, but be safe. But
that's something I've never thought about or had to worry about, and I don't know if I should have been worried about it.
Yeah, no.
Here.
But like I feel like when I've jumped into in the summer, when I've jumped into a river or a just a lake or a pond, it's sometimes a little chilly, but not anything I would
wonder if
say
it's
shocking.
because the ocean water around the UK is so much colder.
Yeah, if you're talking about UK, I mean ocean water, that might be different. But I'm talking about specifically other types of bodies of water.
This was a river.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm not really sure. Maybe it's because as a whole, maybe it takes longer for the bodies of water to warm up because on average,
it's colder.
It's cooler than it would be during the summer here on average. I know what that lady was talking about. Like, you can imagine that the majority of the year in the UK, you guys tend to have like pretty mild temperatures because on average you tend to be more mild. When you get these heat waves for a week or two, they are brutal because you don't have the AC and everything else because it's hard to think about spending the money on it when you only need it for these small windows of time.
And older buildings and homes are built for
retaining heat
and a different climate. So than this.
Yeah, definitely. I know here when we usually start getting hot, it stays hot and brutal the entire year. But we've been lucky so far this year. It's been absolutely amazing.
Hopefully you guys get some reprieve soon.
Yeah. But like we usually this time of year would be like 90s, like 90 degrees Fahrenheit or higher for like
very humid.
And very, very, very humid. But we have been blessed so far to like we've even got 70s recently.
I think it was last night or the night before we were outside and a storm was coming in, but it was downright chilly. I was like cold outside in shorts and a t-shirt, and it's late June.
Yeah,
so.
It's insane, which is the total opposite. Yeah. I mean, last night it literally felt like what I expected to feel like in early October.
It felt like an autumn night.
But I will agree with what you said. Like, if I have to deal with heat without air conditioning, the nighttime is when I want it the most. Now, it can be more dangerous during the day because it's obviously hotter, but just when you talk about comfort levels.
Yeah, comfort level sleeping.
I can deal with heat and sweating during the day, but it's like at night, it's when you don't want to be sweating in your bed. And like, I've done that. I've been there.
Quality of sleep is not there when I'm too hot.
We've been there for, like I've had air conditioning most of my life, but I've had periods of time where I lived certain places that we just didn't have it.
We've gone whole summers without
And they are brutal where you're like in a puddle at night. I mean, like, so I wouldn't wish that on anyone to have to experience those massive heat waves, especially when you don't have air conditioning. I hope you guys get through this quickly and move back into some nice weather.
Mild temperatures.
Yes, but I think that's it for us today, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow us on our journey. Until next time, peace.
Bye.